So, oh, go ahead.
No, please.
Tell me a little bit about, because the original Crash, I think, was 1996, right? Tell me a little bit about what it's like to work on something that not only goes so far back, but has like a very weighty and very beloved, you know, legacy to it.
Yeah, no pressure, right?
No pressure whatsoever. It's easy.
No, I mean, it's really important to us that, you know, we honor and take care of the franchise and these games in particular. And, you know, our team is composed of all sorts of Crash fans. I'm more of a nostalgic fan, I guess. You know, I'm not that good at the game as some folks, possibly yourself. But then we've got really hardcore fans on the team. I mean, this is a game that they grew up with in their childhood. It's like the defining, you know, game of their childhood. So, you know, we had to really take that seriously and make sure that we were delivering the goods.
You know, and I don't even think, like, we got a chance to talk at PSX and see some of the remastered footage, and then you guys posted a screenshot of what the original looked like and side by side with the remaster. And it's not just like, oh, we amped up the colors and made the backgrounds more lush. Like, every little piece of this game got reworked and revamped.
Well, we thought about how Naughty Dog back in the day, you know, the game was ahead of its time. It was really a technical feat that they were able to pull off. And so when we think about the remaster, we have to give it that kind of love and care. And so we did invest new technology into the fur, into the reflections of the environment, you know, really trying to push the boundaries in the same way that Naughty Dog did back in the day.
Now, this is the Sane Trilogy, so we've got all three of them being remastered. Did you guys work one at a time, or did you kind of like tackle everything at once so they would all look like similar?
Yeah, so we actually did develop them in order, 1, 2, and then 3.
Oh, really?
So when we revealed at PSX, we actually were just starting in on the second game.
Oh, wow.
So, I mean, you know, what it allowed us to do is basically, and it's kind of how they developed it too, you take lessons from the first game and bring it to the second game and then the third game, so you're building that momentum within the team itself. But we have the benefit of 20 years of hindsight. So, you know, when we were designing the first game, we already knew that there were some things that we wanted to take from the second and third game and bring it back into the first game. So, we tried to make sure they still felt cohesive, even though we were developing them one at a time.
You're going to just get to the end of the third one and be like, you know what, we got to double back again and do more on the first one again.
There was definitely some lessons learned, even from the Naughty Dog side. I think that we took back, you know, certainly mechanically the way it felt. You know, we wanted to bring the best of what was there all the way through the earlier games. So.
And I don't. Good. Oh, sorry. And I don't think people even expected it to look this good. I think that's one of the most fun reactions that I see in the community is people being like, "Oh yeah, they're remastering Crash, cool," and then they see the footage and they're like, "Oh my God, are you serious?"
There was so much care in the soundtrack, and you guys even got some of the original actors to come back and do the voices.
Absolutely.
I don't think anyone expected that.
When we could, we got them back, and when we couldn't, we made sure to get actors who had actually done work with the franchise so that they were familiar with it.
Well, like you said, these are, you know, this is such an iconic franchise. People are very, you know, we had to honor the memory of it, you know. People would catch everything. I mean, I got people sending me tweets about, you know, that Wumpa Fruit collection sound, not quite right. Can you?
Oh my gosh, really?
Yeah.
Harsh critics out there.
You're going to find them everywhere.
Right.
Wait, can you tell us a little bit about, as you guys are working through all three of these games, when were the moments where you used modern design and philosophy to kind of help push something that was classic forward a bit?
Right. So I think one of the key areas, and Jen can speak to this, is kind of accessibility. We wanted to make sure that we had systems that there are a lot of conveniences that a lot of modern gamers take, and we wanted to make sure that we had a modern save system, that we had other conveniences.
Yeah, giving hints to the player ahead of time, because I think back then people actually might have read the manual. I don't know, but now they definitely don't.
I miss manuals. That's common, right?
But on top of it, you know, when Crash 1 came out, you know, most people, they played on the D-pad, right? And, you know, nowadays the automatic place to go is on the analog sticks. And so getting analog sticks to feel right in those early games, it was definitely a challenge for us. So we did a lot of user testing, both with fans who've been with the franchise from the very beginning and brand new ones as well. And trying to get it just right was a key thing for us to do.
We did user testing on a remaster.
Yeah.
That's how seriously we took it.
Yeah.
So.
It's important. I mean, user testing is always important. It doesn't matter if it's a remaster or not.
Yeah.
Do you have any particular parts of the game that you guys really just like had a blast working on?
Oh, absolutely. I think even though it was daunting, one of the team's favorite areas to work on were death animations. I think that's where really a lot of Crash and now Coco's, personality starts to shine through. And yeah, there are so many different ways to kill Crash in this game.
Yeah.
And I think Crash, at least himself, has over 100 death animations in the game.
Yeah.
And once you add Coco on top of that.
Exactly. So I'm sure, as everyone knows by now, Coco Bandicoot is playable in all 3 games. And for us, I think she was a lot of fun to work on because, we weren't just going to reskin Crash. She has a personality of her own. She's smart. She's sassy. She's got a little bit of attitude as well, but in a different way. And so
she really doesn't like to lose.
She has a camera phone.
Yeah, she's got a camera phone. She has to do selfies.
She's a modern worker.
Exactly.
So the team was able to have a ton of fun just creating all new death animations and just fun things around Coco and creating that personality.
You guys created specifically, like totally outside the box from the original, that you were like, you know what, we want to do something completely new and add it in, or did you try and really stay with what the setup was originally?
Well, our major goal was to really just deliver the nostalgia and the feeling of the originals. But Coco, I think, is one of those large features that the team was just super passionate about. We actually didn't have time in the schedule for her.
Maybe there'll be another one then out there.
Yeah, we'll see.
No hints.
No hints. I know. People have been on me about, you got to ask about Crash Racing. You got to ask about Crash Racing. Like, come on, guys.
Oh, yeah.
Enjoy the first 3. Let's take a minute.
You're not the only one who asked that.
But outside of that, I think the other thing that we were really excited about, even though it was in the original game, was time trials in the 3rd game.
Oh, yeah.
Now, we said, we've got to build this, so why not have it in all 3 games?
Cool.
So now there are 80+ levels of time trials for, especially our hardcore fans to compete on. And we can finally announce that we have online leaderboard support for those as well. So you can compete with your friends either on the couch or online, trying to get the best times on each of the levels.
Yeah,
awesome.
Yeah, it's really amazing. I'm sure you've seen online how the speedrunners, get through these games and the levels.
It's crazy.
So now they can immortalize it on the leaderboards.
What you're saying is it's a perfect game and nothing more could possibly be done.
Not saying that.
That's the message that I'm hearing. So Meredith, it's coming out on June 30th,
June 30th,
right?
Yep, it comes out on June 30th. And there's still time to pre-order, right?
There absolutely
And you get some bonuses
yes.
if you pre-order.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, you got some really nice themes with the pre-orders. So definitely, this is like one of the few games coming out so soon, right after E3. So if you're jonesing for an E3 game, like
you're on
a couple
break.
of weeks.
Yeah.
You're on summer break. Go get it.
When you're riddled with anticipation after seeing all the press conferences, you just have to go. Well, we're running low on time, so any final messages for Crash fans or other folks that are watching at home?
Well, I just want to say everything that we've done for this game, it's for the fans. Even adding adding Coco Bandicoot to the game, it's really a gift to everyone who's been a part of this franchise from the beginning, and hopefully they can introduce a new generation to this game as well.
And any parting words?
Just a big.
You're like ditto.
Yeah, ditto. But no, just a big thanks to Sony for
thanks.
allowing us to work on this, and a thanks to Naughty Dog for creating it in the first place.
Yeah, absolutely.
And yeah, it's been a blast.
Yeah.
Okay.